Empower, support, love. That's true beauty.
Allowing God to use me to inspire others.
She is clothed with strength and dignity.
Welcome to Sis to Sis.
Hey, y'all. Did y'all miss us? Because we sure missed you. Look, watch, like, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Sis to Sis 1988, as well as follow us on all social media platforms at Sis to Sis 1988. Look, we diving right back into this personal finance, trying to give you guys a little bit of advice. I do believe that this is an important subject for peers and millennials. We need to kind of get the finances in check. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into that.
So why do you guys think it's so important to be financially free?
I'll let Calandra start.
I'm not financially free yet, so I ain't the one to answer that one.
So I'm really not either, but hey,
I'm not be honest. I'm
not businesses.
So go ahead.
The importance of being financially free, I would say that was probably instilled in me, honestly, as I was growing up, and I just didn't realize that. I was raised in a home with my grandmother, and she instilled a lot of things in me, like I say, as a child that I really didn't fully quite understand until I became an adult. So it was kind of just something that was always instilled in me. But however, you hear people say, you shouldn't have a true love for money, but having money and being financially free and not having to borrow money from other people and to be able to meet your bills, it can help you not only with your health, because that keeps you from having to worry about how you're going to get the next dollar, how you're going to provide for your child, how are you going to do this, how are you going to do that. So that's where I would say being financially free, it was important to me because I didn't want to I don't like the fact of having to owe anyone, number one. But like I said, again, I think that was something that was kind of really beat into my head by my grandmother as well. And then she always also taught me to never spend my last dollar, whatever you do. And also she made sure that I knew as well too. She said, even if you live in a cardboard box, you make sure that you take care of your rent, your mortgage, whatever that may be. So that was something that was just really instilled into me. So I kind of grew up not knowing that I was being taught that, but in actuality, that was actually what was happening. So it's one of those things where it's just kind of second nature for me, just to be honest.
Well, for me, I will say the financial freedom. It's such an uplift off your shoulder.
True.
It really is.
It is.
Everything is okay as far as them creditors calling. I know people that when those creditors are going them up, they just change their phone number. Don't pay the bill. They just change the phone number. And that's just that's not going anywhere, because really, honestly, you can have a lot of money, but if your credit is not what it needs to be, you'll never really do the things that you really want to do. It's still going to amount to credit. Credit, I used to think wasn't important because I always thought if I make the money, I just go buy it. But credit is important. That's how you get, especially when I start looking for my house. It had to be where it needed to be, or I wasn't going to get one. Unless you are one of those type of people and you know how to save. Yes, you probably can go buy you a house for cash. But have you seen the prices of what houses cost? Because I have. And I got my house back in that time when it was the first real estate crash. And they was having all those programs where everybody could get one. You know what I mean? And I ended up getting me something. I bought a foreclosure though. Even then, I had always said, I'm probably in a foreclosure, trying to make sure I don't spend my last dollar. I'll fix it up. I'll make it look however I want to look, but I ain't got to have no brand new house because I don't want that brand new mortgage. I don't want that big mortgage. So I think that after so long, it comes as second nature for you. You're not doing too much extra stuff or getting that extra bill and just doing it because you have it. Because I think we have talked about before, some people, the more money they make, the more they spend.
Right.
Which let's go to our next question. What are the different ways to save? People need to save. You're supposed to save more than you spend. That's what I was taught. What about you guys?
You are. I know for me, when it comes to like saving, you need to kind of like just look at your lifestyle. What are your like your money go to the most? I know for me personally, I like to eat out. And that's always been my thing.
We foodies.
Yeah, that's always been my thing. So when I go back and if I look at my budget throughout the month, most of my money go towards eating out. It goes towards food. So during COVID, I realized I was eating at home. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I was cooking 3 times a day, every day. I saved so much money from eating at home. So something as little as eating at home and not eating out so much can make a big
Well, I
big
probably
difference.
can use some work because I'm a DoorDash fanatic. I DoorDash everything, honey. I do. I can do better.
Different ways to save.
Yes.
What I would say that has worked for me the most is actually automating it. So what I do is honestly have multiple accounts in multiple savings accounts, and most of them are in places like with online banks where I don't have easy access to it. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I would definitely say. Put your money somewhere where you can get to it, but where you don't have easy access to it, and automate it. So what I do is I'll pick an amount and I set it. I don't touch it. Mm-hmm. And I put a goal on it. If I'm trying to achieve something, I set a certain amount. I'll break it up by the week. And then what if y'all use something, for example, $25 a week. So $25 a week for 52 weeks. Mm-hmm. I know exactly how much I'm going to have, and I'll set my goal on that. Mm-hmm. So that's a way that has worked, and it's automated. Without me even thinking about it. Boom, it happens.
You don't even see it.
Yeah.
You can't miss something you don't see.
Yeah.
That's a good way to trick yourself.
But I would think that that's one of the ways that I really was able to build a really, really good emergency fund. Automating
that
it.
Works.
Yep.
Another good thing too is to give yourself like a weekly allowance. Like say you're not going to spend more than $100, $150, whatever your allowance is a week, and really, really stick to that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, and it's easy to do if you really want to.
And every dollar you make should have a name. Every single dollar, mm-hmm. whether that be to save it, whether that be to pay your tithes, whether that be to give it. Mm-hmm. Every dollar that you make, you should put a name on that mm-hmm. dollar. Every single dollar. I remember when I first started working on being financially free, I felt like I got a raise, honestly, when I put myself on a budget. I feel like I got a raise I really didn't get a raise, but I was telling, like you say, spending money going out to eat. Yep. You know, we foodies. We've always been foodies since we've been teenagers.
Yes.
We love to go to restaurants.
Yes. Yeah, we was kids like in that.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't even feel like there was a lot of sacrifices, to be quite honest, that I had to make, because honestly, it just kind of, I was like, wait, whoa, what's happening here? I feel like my bank account is going up. Everything just turned around, and it's so amazing what you can do if you put it on paper. It is so important to put it write it down and put those things on paper. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that goes to the next question then, most reliable way to pay off debt. So you saving all this money.
I know for me, my thing is to never get it in the first place, because I never been the one to charge. I never even had a credit card for like the longest time. Mm-hmm. But it's just the whole point. I felt like if I didn't have the money to buy it outright, I didn't need it. Mm-hmm. So I was just save the money to get whatever it was instead of trying to charge something. That's like the biggest and easiest way to find yourself in debt, because you can charge yourself something. It's swipe it, it's there. Now you got this $1,000 charge on your credit card that you're owing, but yet you're still spending.
Yeah.
So credit card debt is like the easiest way to find yourself in a hole.
I'll agree to that. It's just for me, because I do use the credit. I did that. This is right around the time I was trying to get the house though, back in the Gap. But I always was told I have the credit cards, but I wasn't using them. And so my credit, I got the credit cards, but it wasn't bumping up like I wanted it to, because I had these credit cards and I wasn't using them. And unfortunately, what I didn't understand is that not using them affects the credit. You see what I'm saying? So I had to get into the flash of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to get trapped. You just pull it out. I'm one of those people. So I have in the last few years kind of been conscious, like, okay, how expensive is that? And when I ask myself how expensive is that, it may be me at Whataburger getting ready to get a #1 combo. I need to ask myself, look at the budget, look at what you said you were going to spend.
That eating out, I told you.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just using something simple as that, but I'm just trying to look at it like, she said, have a name to it. Do you really need to get that? And sometimes I'm moving around, I'm going place to place, and I'm starving. You know what I mean? I've already probably called myself fasting, so I'm shaking now and things like that. So I'm going to stop and get the Whataburger. I just try to make sure I get a junior burger or something like that and not the combo. That's how I do it. That's how I try to manipulate it, Things that I don't think should count, though. People have like gas cards gas cards, and it's another thing that you can use that people have, but it's like a credit. I can't think of it.
You can get credit on anything these
But you said that shouldn't count. What do you mean?
Well, I do know like people have credit cards. Like, what's that gas station? Mobile gas station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a credit card.
Yes. Okay.
And people, they max out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like things like that. But I'm saying if that person names it gas, you know you have to have gas.
We do.
That is not the card that needs to be maxed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying have a name to it, like don't use it, because I'm thinking you can use it in another place.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Because I told you I don't do the cards, so
I
don't know.
It's something that it was another research and a discussion that I was having, and it was a person was talking about the gas card. Maybe they had a credit card that they used specifically for gas. Either way, they went to the gas station and they didn't get no gas because the card was maxed out. So I'm like, okay, so when you were doing that, where you count, because I say even though you have a credit card, you still have to pay that back. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying?
Credit cards give that false perception. You know, it makes you think, oh, I just spend it, I'll buy it, I'll pay it later.
Right.
Yes,
but it does. And you have
that.
to pay big interest on that, large amount of interest on that. So that's why I stay away from them. You know, you be your own credit card is the way I see it. Have your emergency fund.
Right.
Yeah. Borrow from yourself.
Yep.
That's what you do. That's the first step in Dave Ramsey's plan. I know I keep talking about that, but Dave Ramsey's plan, first step, you have to have a $1,000 emergency fund. So if something happens, it's basically like you're loaning out from yourself. So you loan it out from yourself.
And that separate account that you're talking about really does work, because I had a savings account. I didn't have no debit card for it or anything. So that way, if I wanted that money, I had to go to the bank to get it. So therefore, that money stayed there.
I'm telling you, that one works. That one works.
It really does work. It really does work. Yeah. And for all of my shoppers out there, like me, I love shoes and I love to buy clothes. Stop buying clothes you know you're not going to wear, and it's going to sit in the closet because you ain't got nowhere to go. Stop buying shoes that you know you're not going to wear because they hurt your feet, and you're going to pass them over to get to the other perk of comfortable shoes.
Right.
Only buy stuff if you know you finna wear it for a particular event, occasion, or something. Just stop buying it because it's cute and you like it, and it's gonna sit in the closet.
And even if you do it, because you can still buy a few items that you want, but then you put yourself on a budget for that, though.
You can.
Once you
I got so much stuff in there that went to
and you spend it,
and it goes to Goodwill.
Kind of like it's gone, it's gone. So if you got a $50 wardrobe
it's okay
budget,
to treat yourself, but I'm just saying, you know, just have a limit to it, because I had to take so much stuff to Goodwill that still had tags on it. So I told you got a problem. You have a problem. And you need to stop buying stuff. And I don't do it no more. And it's, you know.
It's working.
It's working.
So what other questions we got? Because we got Miss Calandra, you know, she's the expert. She's doing well over there.
I wouldn't say the expert
right.
but
let me see. The most reliable way to pay off debt.
I think that's the one we just discussed.
Did we just do that one?
We just discussed that one.
What about ways to build credit for people that's trying to build?
I don't think I'm the right person. I know y'all call me the finance friend, but I don't think I'm the one to ask that, because really building credit, I'm not real big on building credit, to be quite honest. Like, of course I know about it, and really the place where I probably use it and it has came in handy for me the most, I would say, is more on a business level. Because when you do go to try to get, let's say, like business finances and things like that, they're going to ask for a personal guarantor. As much as people tell you that they're not, they are going to ask for that.
They do.
Yes, I have been in business almost 15 years, and I have not applied for anything where they don't ask for a personal guarantor. I try to structure my business though the same way that I run my personal finances as well too though, but I do believe in having a business line of credit. So if you're applying for that, they're going to ask you about that. So it is important to keep it intact and not owe all of these creditors. But far as like building up my credit score, honestly, when I started paying off my debt, what ended up happening, accounts were closing. And so guess what happened? My credit score actually went down because those accounts were actually closing. Yeah, exactly. Like I think we were talking and discussing the other day, and we were talking about, you know, credit cards. I do have 2 credit cards, but I never use them. And it was so funny because after I discussed with you guys that day, my son went out and he checked the mail and he brought the mail back. You open up, you know what they told me? I have 30 days. If I don't use that credit card, they're going to close the credit card out for me.
Yeah, I've gotten quite a few of those. I do use them.
Honestly, you know, I'm not the best person to necessarily ask about building up credit, because I strongly believe in you are your own creditor. Borrow from yourself. If you save up and get a good cushion on an emergency fund, you don't really need a credit card. Not for a house, not for a car, because the next house that I'll be purchasing, it will be cash. And that's only because I have gotten to financial freedom. That's really the only reason
that's
why.
The goal, and that's the goal.
Anybody can
and that's
do that.
The goal, but like
anybody
I say,
can do that. You don't have to necessarily depend on credit.
Right.
You don't.
That's the goal. Yeah.
So.
Now for me, making the money, I'm a bill paying person. So if I decide to swipe the credit card, which I have, I just know that I'm paying it back. Usually what I do, everything is just about you can do on your phone. Mm-hmm. So what I do is bi-weekly, I look at, I have all my credit card apps on my phone, and I just look on there and see what the current balance is, and what do? I pay it. That's how I do it. I make sure to check them every 2 weeks. And that's how I pay it. So I am a person that uses my personal credit. I use credit cards, but you have to pay them in order. And I do see, you see a standstill in your credit. You start to see a standstill. You don't see that dropping when you're just not completely using them at all. And you do, if you don't, because I was doing it at first too, I was getting those letters like that. And then I'm not a person that opens my mail as soon as I check the mail.
Oh, I'm horrible.
Okay. So I would try to use the credit card and it would decline. Nowadays that's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? And so I go home and I look at those letters and boom, bacadao, the letter is saying, we didn't cut the card off. You didn't had it for this long and you never used it. Mm-hmm. And I had one with a big limit on it and I didn't use it because I was like, this is my emergency credit card for anything like something with the car, something like that. Everything has a label. Every card needs to have like a specific use for it. Going to Louis or going to Saks Fifth and just charge that. Those are the things I would not recommend when it comes to personal finances. Like I think like celebrate yourself for like anything that you feel like you've accomplished in that week or that month. But I don't think it should be a regular thing that you're spending money like that.
Okay, so since you said that, so what are things not to do with your finances? Like what are things that we shouldn't be
like
doing?
If you are okay, let's just use those stores, Saks Fifth, you go and you get credit with them. If it's a big limit, what I find people do is they just go there on a nudge. I'm gonna go to Saks and Fifth. Really don't need anything. You have plenty of clothes to wear, clothes to wear to work. Nothing is wrong with your car. Just hold on to the card. Use that for something like you said, like a special event. I feel like it's okay to have the cards. That's fine. But using them, are you being responsible for them? Are you using them for unnecessary reasons? Like just going shopping, like Toya is describing. So many people do that. I heard a girl, what store was that? It might have been Saks Fifth. And she saw something and wanted it. And she was like, you know what? I think the card is off. And I was like, what happened? She told me the limit. And when she told me the limit, I was like, you just spent all of that? Which is not going to take much at Saks Fifth. Y'all know that's an expensive store. But I'm like, what was those things that you bought? And I think she said a purse. Another one was a coat. Things like, it's the summertime. What you buying the coat for? The things just unnecessary.
Off season.
But that's what you saying.
It was off season.
Saks and Fifth don't have,
but that's why she got it.
They don't be doing that like that. That's not like JCPenney. Saks and Fifth ain't like JCPenney. It was unnecessary. She didn't get no discount. Like if she would have probably been something like Burlington Coat Factory. But using personal credit cards just for splurging, that is a bad idea. Especially if you're a person that don't keep up with it and make the payments on it.
And you're saying in general, what are things not to do with finances? Just in general, not just with credit cards.
Right.
So I would say the main most important thing that I would say is to don't try to live beyond your means. Don't worry about what the Jones doing and what the Johnsons are doing and what the whoever else is doing. Yep. Worry about yourself and what you're doing is what I have to say about that.
Because when them lights get cut off, they like gonna be on.
Yep.
You have to set your goals. Mm-hmm. So really, you set your goals and then just make sure you don't try to live outside of your means. Yeah. Afford what you can afford. Afford what you can afford. That's what I would say to people. Don't try to live outside of your means. It's really finances really are about it's a mindset.
Yeah. It really is.
It really is a mindset. If you change your mind about your relationship with money, you really can go a lot of places. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You really can. And I know for me, I will also tell people just because you got a new job making more money or a promotion, that doesn't mean you go get a new car with a higher car note or a bigger house because now you're making more money because now you might be making more money but now you got more money coming out. So therefore you're not really saving a whole lot because your bills are more.
Mhm.
So I'm like, if your car still can get you to where you need to go, this still because they already know. If I could still drive my 95 Honda,
You should
I would still be driving my 95 Honda Accord. I would be. I don't encourage getting bills and car notes that you don't have to get. I feel like if it's not making you money, it's costing you money.
Correct.
So, yes. And also, don't be putting people's stuff in, other people's stuff in your name.
Okay, let's talk about co-signing. That's the next subject. Don't co-sign if you can't take on the debt.
If
I'm gonna
you
tell you
can't
right now,
take it on.
I don't co-sign. I will give you the money for the down payment, but I'm not gonna co-sign.
I'm not co-signing
I'm
anything.
not co-signing for you. Ain't no need you calling me. Ain't what you need. I give you this for your down payment, but I'm not putting my name on no paper. What about you guys?
Well, you already said I'm not.
I'll say the same thing like you said, far as I wouldn't necessarily say I wouldn't co-sign with anyone. But what I would say is like what you said, I'll just kind of follow that up with what you just said on making sure that you're able to cover that debt if you do co-sign for someone.
They're going to be in their feelings. Let's just use it as a car.
However, I don't think that I would do something for someone else that I wouldn't do for myself. So with me being so strong on not using credit, then I don't think that would be something that I would be doing. So maybe making the purchase for someone, but if I do that, I know I'm giving that to them, without, I may not get that money back.
Oh,
so don't do something that you can't afford to do.
Right.
Don't even loan money out to people that you can't afford to give to them, because guess what? If the chances are they may or may not give that back to you.
So most likely they're not, because they were in something is going on with them financially. And it may be a while before they get there, or they may never. But I don't co-sign. I've been asked, and no.
Yeah, I don't do it.
No.
And my granny always told me, never give what you can't afford to give away.
Correct.
So I live by that. I'm like, if I can't afford to give it away, I can't do it.
Okay.
I can't do it for you. Any other things on finances, y'all?
What are long-term versus short-term goals? I'm gonna tell you what mine is. Same kind of thing with Calandra. My long-term goal, kind of waiting around to see what happens. But my long-term goal is my forever house, cash. That's my long-term goal. Along with the long-term goal is I have a certain amount of how much I want in my savings account. I already know that number in my head. That's my long-term goal. Short-term goal, really for me, is business goals. My short-term goals for me are not personal. Maybe I need to throw a little bit of that in there, but for me, it's mostly business personal goals, business goals for that.
What I would say for people for long-term and short-term goals, as far as with financing, is to be realistic about them.
Right.
But I know I say that all the time. Y'all hear me say that even on the loan, the biz. Write it down. You got to write it down. though. You have to write those things down and just be realistic about it, and go back and make sure that you revisit them so that you stay on track. With those goals, whether it's short-term or long-term.
Long-term, yeah. Okay.
Well, look, listen. My short-term, long-term goals to pay these student loans off. And I wish somebody in the office could have hit a button or a switch and wipe them out for me. That'd be great if you listening. If you guys are, I'm just going to be real. That's my goal right now. I want to get all that stuff paid off, because I think right now I can't, not saying I can't see past it, but right now it's like that's just what I want done right now, so I can move on to other things.
Well, I'm a living witness to that. I also had student loans, but they were paid off, I think now probably 6-7 years ago. It is doable. What made me sick to my stomach was when I saw the statement and it says I have 227 payments remaining. That just did something to me. Do you know how much interest you're paying though? Like seriously.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes, if you really just get focused and get intense on them, 1 year, 2 year tops, really you can have them taken care of. You can. It really can be done. You can do it, friend.
Yes, you can.
You can do it.
Now I got one almost paid off, but I still got this other one that I just want somebody to just
hit the button.
Just get it for your girl. Just get it on out of there.
I don't have much longer to go either. So I'm not counting it as a short term. Like I say, mine is mostly business wise. Financially, financial goals, short term. I would say, like right now, I want the business to do this. But personally, yes, I'm almost through with the student loans. Like I said, I do use the credit cards. I just pay them. That's pretty much it. It's probably some more, because I write things down too. I have a tablet and all that I write things down in, but I'm not suffering. as far as that.
I got a lot of stuff up here, but like I said, first thing first. Let me just, first thing first. There's a lot of stuff in the making, but first thing first.
So, Calandra, for the debt free, let's focusing on that. What were some of the sacrifices you made to be debt free?
I think we slightly touched on that a little bit. Far as sacrifices, honestly, like I say again, I felt like I really got a raise when I started working on paying off my debt and putting a name to every single dollar that came into my account.
But what sacrifices? So, like what I mean is, like, did you work extra hours?
I did not. That's what I'm telling you. Like, honestly, it is. I don't know how. I know I may be making it sound so simple and easy, but for me, that's what I experienced. I really didn't. I really felt like it opened up so much more for me by working on paying off my debt. Yeah, because I feel like I got a raise. Like, literally, I do. Like, if you write it all down and you put a name on every single dollar,
so you can see where your money's going.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, sure. I agree.
Exactly. I still go out to eat. I still do most everything that I want to do. I still continue to do those things. There was not a change in my lifestyle. There really was not. It was just I was putting the name pretty much on every dollar. So I was never really totally just bad with money. I've never been just flat totally broke. I've never really had to go to people and ask for things. I was already kind of working on them. I just had to kind of fine tune them a little bit.
Okay. Well, guys, hey, we hope that helped you, because like I say, that finances is going to be here. That's not going anywhere. You got to be responsible. You have to be responsible with that in order to provide a living, especially if you're someone that has children. So
until next time,
there's strength in sisterhood.
And there's support in sisterhood.
Bye.
Bye.